Welcome to the PHLY Eagles Postgame Show live from the Xfinity Lounge and presented by Bet365 and Ashley. Much to discuss about the Eagles' giant beatdown of the New York Giants, 38-20, a monster day on the ground. We've got a lot to talk about. Fran Duffy is going to break some of it down for us in just a little bit. We'll hear from EJ Smith live at the LINC. We'll hear from you, the sickos in the chat. But before we get to all of that, I got to introduce you to my people here. Vinny Curry, Super Bowl champion. Jamie Lynch, Super Bowl watcher. I'm Wulf. Let's go around the horn and talk about your big takeaways, starting with you, Vinny.
Saquon! I think
For the first time all year, you got to say Saquon.
It's been a while since we got to hear you say that.
Oh, my God. Listen, everybody along the chat that's been following us know how sad I was when we lost to the Giants the first time. But I get to say Saquon!
14 for 150 for Saquon Barkley, including a 65-yarder untouched on the game's opening drive. And all of a sudden, he's got a friend in the backfield, too, because he leaves this game, looked like maybe just like a little bit of a tight hammy there after a nice run. And then in comes Tank Bigsby.
Bank on the tank.
I mean, the Tank man, 9 for 104. I thought it was the league's best kickoff returner. Turns out he's just a good backup running back.
Man, he looks so explosive. He did.
He's got a funky running style.
He does. Yeah. He does, man. Oh, man, what a day. What a great day to be an Eagles fan.
All right, over to you, Jamie. Big takeaway.
Thank God they didn't lose to the Giants twice in the season. And my big takeaway, there's a lot to like about today, but the fact that they answered the physicality bell after 2 weeks ago, like not only did they lose, but they got beat up in that game. So to see them come out and Jordan Davis suplex some guys and Reed Blankenship to get a shoulder in there to break up a pass, like they brought the boom a little bit today. So it was good to see the Eagles kind of bring that physicality back to the game.
The Kelly Greens remain
5-0
for the Eagles.
Just make it the full-time uniform. Let's go.
And to me, listen, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but I will say, as all of the rumors swirl around A.J. Brown, the truth is, since A.J. Brown got here, every game the Eagles have played without him, they have looked awful on offense. You take this game with a grain of salt because the Giants' defense was not only mediocre but also banged up. But to put up 38 points and to show a little bit of diversity in the game plan with the under center stuff, the play action, the running game finally getting going, 276 on the ground, it makes you feel a little bit more like, okay, if that had to happen, at least we can make some things happen on offense. I thought they looked good today.
Yeah, I think
on that side of the ball.
I think the professor, who you guys on Thursday talked about, like the variety of ways that the Eagles needed to change up the offense. I think they're leaning into it the last 2 weeks. You've seen them try some more stuff, way more play action and under center stuff than we saw in the previous 5 weeks. So it's good to see a counterpunch from the Eagles offense, no doubt.
Oh man, I just hope the rumors ain't true. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, chat. I'm not gonna rain on my parade, but I'll be looking for my dog again. Y'all know how I felt when my dog get lost. I just hope those rumors ain't true.
What do you mean, Vinny? Could AJ unliking Jalen's, praising him and
he was hacked.
Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, he was hacked.
All right,
I think he was just trying to have some fun. I mean, it's like
he was
if
hacked.
I delete some posts, people will react. I'm not playing today. I might as well make everybody else do something weird.
Listen, he was hacked.
All right, we can save that for the rest of the week. Let's talk about the game itself. And we'll talk about the defense as well, because we got a lot to get to here. But, Vinny, the first half of this game, to me, was like, man, where is the pass rush?
Right.
Jaxson Dart had forever back there. This was actually not a big blitz game for Vic Fangio, his lowest blitz rate game of the season. And yet, in the second half, they did finally get home a bunch. Zach Bond had a sack. Jalix Hunt had a sack. Moro Ojimo had a sack. Jalen Carter had a sack, his first of the season. Jordan Davis had a sack. That is by far the Eagles' most sacks in a game this season, and it was nice to see them finally getting home.
Man, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, man. Sacks come in bunches, but it just came at a perfect time, against the New York Giants. We've been harping and getting on the pass rush, and to finally see those guys get home. I think Ojimo leads the team in 4 sacks.
He sure does.
And just to see I'm not gonna say BG lit a fire under the ASS, but it looked a little sense of urgency out there.
I'll give him some credit. Why not?
Yeah, So what a great week.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking of Bo during Ojimo.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you did a nice short prior to the year where you polled the locker room.
Yes.
And usually the players, Vinny, as you know, have a good sense of who that guy is going to be that kind of like breaks through and busts out.
Right.
And Bo polled the players in the locker room and said, who's the player that's going to take that next step in their career, trajectory this year? And Moro Ojimo won.
Overwhelming support.
Overwhelmingly won the players' poll of who's going to jump out and be that guy. Because they're seeing him in practice. They're seeing the work he's putting in. They're seeing how young he is and how far along he is for his age. And they voted Ojimo was going to be that breakout player this year. And it looks like leading the team in sacks after week 8 is a pretty good way there.
Ojimo, in case you didn't know.
Oh, I like that. Let's get to the super chats as everybody's fired up after this big Eagles win that sends them into the bye 6-2 and in a much more feel-good situation than they were a couple weeks ago. Some super chats here. Steve Clef says, the 3 wise men. Now, what you need to know here is the 3 running backs. Barkley, Shipley, Bigsby. 256 yards rushing, 24 yards receiving, 1 touchdown, 99 return yards. He's really trying to push the 3 wise men.
I mean, I'll be honest, I never thought about that.
It's working a little too hard.
Yeah. We may have seen the last of A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are calling him wise.
No, not wise. But I think Tank Bigsby, if they need a cut in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
AJ's probably
Tank looks good. Josh H. says, needed this game. 2 weeks of woosah will feel good. And then Michael Toma says, go Birds. Woosah. Happy to see the under center offense and passes over the middle, but didn't love Jalen Hurts' pocket presence today. When he did take that 21-yard sack.
Not ideal.
No, it was a 16-yard sack. I apologize. They had the graphic wrong on the broadcast. But that led to, I think, the funniest part of the game, which was Tank Bigsby then picking it up on 2nd and 26 with a run. The first time since 2000 in the NFL that a run has picked up 2nd or 25 or yards or more.
I think I got to roll with Michael on that one.
You didn't love the pocket presence.
I didn't love the pocket.
Okay.
Now, chat, hear me out.
Oh, he's a hater. Jalen hater over here.
Oh, no, I'm the biggest Jalen. Oh, everybody know. Oh.
Noah's going to be mad about this.
I feel like the presence looked it off because 11 wasn't out there.
I don't know about that. I thought he looked okay today. I mean, listen, we can show up the graphic, but he was 15 of 20 for 179 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 141.5 quarterback rating. There were a couple times where he was slow in the pocket a little bit, but I didn't think that it was too bad. And a couple of those led to first down scrambles.
100%, but I'm not saying it was bad. I just think that little split second is looking for 11 down the field. That's it. I'm just trying to mend the relationship
I know you are.
together. I'm just trying.
We just need to get the 2 of them into a room with you, Vinny. We got
maybe we need to.
You'd be like, listen, I've been in bad organizations. You don't want to go to a bad organization.
Yeah, his pocket presence was probably a little off today.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but he was so exceptional last week. If you're doing like the recency comparison, I mean,
I thought he was fine.
Listen,
I mean, listen, you want to tell me that maybe he doesn't deserve credit for a 40-yard touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson when Dotson just goes and mosses that guy?
That was a nice little head tap.
I thought it was fine.
That's what the young kids do nowadays.
Some nice passes over the middle.
Head tap.
Okay, I like that. More super chats rolling in. Cash Squatch says, does a 5-sack game deter Howie from a pass rush trade? You've been all over this, Vinny, talking about the Eagles potentially needing to make a move on the pass rush. The deadline. Does this performance make you feel better about that group?
I love the performance, but I'm from the era when you can never have enough pass rushers. So I would love to see something shake.
And it's not a bygone era. That is a Howie Roseman era. So yes, I still think it's very much on the table.
I think that's on the table, and I think maybe bring somebody in to help out the secondary a little bit.
Ooh, you got anybody in mind?
Might know a friend or two.
Oh, I like that. Michael Giedgaud.
This is my cousin Mike in Germany.
Mikey!
And before you get to his super chat here, Bo, new father as of 2 days ago.
Yo,
Wow.
congratulations, Mike.
So welcome to the dad club, Mike.
Oh, that's fantastic. And he's still tuned in.
Yeah, look at him. I mean, what else you got
Wow.
to do for the first couple months except cradle, feed, and rock that baby? So
All right.
let's get some thumbs up for the new baby in
Guten
here.
Tag. The big question during the bye week is when will Gabe Hall make it onto the field? Would be great to see him penetrating the A-gap or blasting a tight end on Sundays. Good to see the humor has not left you in fatherhood, Michael. Cousin Mike.
I don't think you ever have to worry about that one. No.
Good to see you from Mikey G. All right.
That's about right.
Okay. DeVonta, 6 catches for 84 yards on 9 targets. I thought he looked the part of, a potential number 1 receiver.
I love DeVonta Smith, the Slim
What's not
Reaper.
to love?
I feel like anytime those opportunities come for him to showcase to be the number 1 guy, he always shows up.
Devontae's awesome.
He's
Like,
awesome.
Rich asked me, Bo, when we filled in on Thursday, like, where's Devontae rank in your all-time Eagles wide receiver kind of pantheon?
Ooh.
And it was a really good question because I had never really considered it. I had T.O. in this nostalgic place because of what he did and what he represented and what he changed. But, like, there's a really good chance at the end of the day, DeVonta Smith, because he's probably going to outlive A.J. Brown here, is going to be my favorite Eagles wide receiver of all time.
Ooh, that's powerful.
I mean, I love D-Jax. Jeremy Maclin was a beast. But, like, it's probably T.O., AJ, and Devontae is my top 3.
Irvin Fryer not in that list?
What's that?
Irvin Fryer nowhere in that list?
I was a young buck.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I respect Irving's, status in the league, but, like, he never got a hold of my heartstrings. Devontae, like, I just love that he turns into a psychopath on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's this quiet little, like, church mouse off the field for the most part, and then it turns into a total psycho on game days. He's tough. He can high point balls. He can catch balls in traffic. He can toe drag. He can do everything you want a wide receiver to do. He can burn past you. He's a phenomenal player, and I think there's a really good chance he's going to be my favorite Eagle wide receiver ever.
That's fire.
Shots fired at Darius Cooper.
Your boy got some run today.
Just you wait. He pancaked a dude.
Well, the one play, he drew the pass interference
You're
because
damn right he did. His 1 target. It's a first down.
Yeah. So I just love Devontae.
Little context for this offensive performance for the Eagles. By success rate and EPA per drive, this was their best performance of the year and better than any performance from last season on offense except for the NFC Championship game.
Wow.
So including the entire season last year when they won the Super Bowl, this was a better offensive performance than those. And also their highest rushing success rate of any game, including last season, except for the NFC Championship game, which is just a nice reminder of just how badly they beat down the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. But this was a dominating performance for them on offense.
What a performance by Saquon Barkley, as you can see on the graphic. 14 carries, 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns against his former team. I don't even think he played the 4th quarter.
I think he had one. He had that 1 carry. That was it. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, it's
you know what? And during the halftime show, Jamie, you called out the miles per hour he was running. I thought you saw it even more on the one where he got hurt, but like he was pulling away from dudes.
Oh,
and if you were worried about like does he look the part, he looked superhuman on a couple of those runs.
And it wasn't me or like I feel like the Eagles was using a different type of running style, play calling this game. A lot more tosses.
I agree with you.
You see a lot more misdirection plays, and Saquon was just getting busy.
65-yarder was on Duo, I believe.
That's what I mean. Like, that's the thing that we all clue in the chat. When I say all of us were wanting to see. And to finally see it today was what a great day.
Now, let me ask you this, Vinny, because we did see like a lot of diversity in the way they called the game today. From those things you're talking about, they leaned into the 6 offensive line packages and stuff, different kinds of run schemes. They showed you that they know how to do it, which makes you wonder why haven't they been doing it all season? I don't know the answer to that, but it's like, okay, why haven't we just been doing this all along?
I mean, it goes back to it goes back to like welcome to Philadelphia. You know, no coach want to be the reason they lose, and I feel like that's what we've been seeing. You know, damn if I do, damn if I don't. You know, kind of being scary around the edges. You know, with so much expectation that we put on for the team. But listen, we have the guys to do it, and they answered a lot of our questions today. Now we would love to see the same exact game plan, just with number 11 on the field.
I like that. CJ in the chat, Jamie says, good news, best part of the day, the Birds win. Worst part, my brother-in-law just told us he found out his girlfriend has a husband.
Oh.
Talk about living a double life.
That's tough. Like finding out A.J. Brown already plays for a different team.
Who's she going to pick?
I don't know.
She better. Oh my God.
That's a spicy situation.
More super chats to get to. And then on the other side of the break, we will get to Fran Duffy. But Jack says, does the A.J. Brown trade calculus for you change at all, given what we saw today in an offensive performance without him?
No, he's a big part of the team. He's a big part of the team. He's a team captain. The locker room really value his opinion, look up to him. He's a very competitor. He makes the team that much better.
Yep.
I just think, listen, they'll figure it out. AJ is professional. Jalen's a professional. They have great upstairs management. They'll figure this thing out.
Yeah.
We have a week to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so no, I don't think so.
Yeah, a game like today just makes me say, why can't you figure this out?
It'd been 50 points if he played.
Right.
Yeah, potentially. Like, there's enough football to go around.
Like today makes you think, okay, if we can just get AJ back in the fold, this team is capable of winning the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that the biggest hurdle to this happening and trading AJ Brown at the deadline is just that it's very complicated. Like, the Eagles are a Super Bowl window team. They're not going to give up a guy who is potentially their best player for only draft picks. They're going to it's going to have to require getting something else that's going to help them this year, but they're also not going to give him up for anything. It's got to be a lot. It's a lot of moving parts. It'll be a difficult problem for them to solve over the next week and a half, and it requires a team really blowing them away with an offer.
Yeah, Howie Roseman is not in the business of trading guys like that away. He's in the business of acquiring players of his caliber. If this offense is humming, unless there was something personal between Jalen and AJ that got severed, there's no reason that AJ can't be happy within the confines of this offense.
But I do want to say, just from following the reports from the national media over the past week, from a media literacy standpoint, what those things mean, like Jeffrey Lurie talking about it at all.
Yeah.
And, Adam Schefter saying, unless they get blown away, that is essentially them talking through the media to the other teams saying, if you want him, you better make us a really good offer.
The best receiver in football.
Yeah. It sucks that it has come to this point.
And then
it sucks.
Listen, man, we need to make the man a little library on the sideline. Come on, man.
One of those free library things.
Yeah.
Paige actually just took a book from one yesterday.
Install one of those.
There's one at our local playground, and Paige always wants to go look at the free
that.
book exchange.
Yeah,
we took an Apple book yesterday.
Come on.
We can get AJ an Apple book. It's fall.
I feel like they could
just
install
mean
one
too
there.
much to the
why
city,
not?
And I just think, a lot of us we see receivers be upset, and all of us get like this because the last time we saw somebody like this,
and it was sit-ups in the driveway.
Correct, and it was off a Super Bowl run. So a lot of us, are just kind of panicky, know. But at the same time, man, listen.
But Vinny, it also needs to be said, given all the time you spent in the league and having won a Super Bowl, everybody doesn't have to like each other for the team to be successful.
100%, but the time we won, everybody liked each other. That was the biggest. I think that was just the what set us apart of any other team that ever come through here. That year, you just didn't see. You see one Eagle player, at least 5 was in the area. And we just did everything together. So I don't think I dealt with something like that. The closest thing I would say. I can't even say the closest thing because we never dealt with nothing like that. We played with, I don't play with Macklin, play with Jack, Ashawn, Torrey.
Mm-hmm.
We had a sheer list of receivers that came through here and that played on a high level.
That's true.
Just make it work. Come on, just feed the man the ball if you have to. Like, figure this out. We just want prolonged runs in this town. And I know we're in, like, the golden age right now, but, like, just figure it out. BG's back in the locker room. Figure it out, BG. Get those two to figure it out.
Oh, BG had them at the round table the last time.
Well, it's funny because, you know, BG told Bo, like, you know, an instance of every coach he's had getting pissed at him. And his instance for Sirianni was when I spoke on family business out in public. I think BG's savvy enough that, like, there was behind the scenes, closed door, like, hey, let's figure this out. Nothing was working. I think BG threw the smoke bomb in public on purpose to force them to talk. I think he's that savvy of a guy, but whatever.
Let me ask you this. Let's talk about this one more time now, and then we'll ask EJ about it when we talk to him in a little bit. But one more time, let's make this our Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check. Things are heating up and cooling off with Ace Hardware Home Services. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Prediction 2 weeks from today, is AJ Brown on the Eagles?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I say yes as well.
Yeah. I mean,
but I also think the temperature will be rising the second half of the season anyway.
Yeah, and I think off season, if you ask me that question, it's probably an entirely different answer.
Right.
But if you do want to get the most value for a guy, probably in season might be better unless you wait till draft time. I don't know, but I don't think this is for the long.
I just think the second half of the season is the most pressure the locker room will face in the last couple of years. Only because of the expectation coming on off this bye week. Let's get this behind us. We adding BG back in the locker room, got the running game going, and we're trying to make another Super Bowl run. So,
amen to that.
As long as I could go, Saquon! You know?
Here we go.
And by the way, the Saquon, if any Supporters Club members are in here, you get to use the Saquon emoji today. It's been a long season of not being able to hit that Saquon emoji. So if you're a Supporters Club, you can pay some money, get some behind-the-scenes unique content from us here at PHLY. Great, chance to support us here. You get a custom Supporters Club kind of entrance into the chat, and you get use of our custom emojis, of which Vinny's Saquon is one of them. So consider supporting us by joining the Supporters Club if you can. There you go.
All right.
Sensei Sergio with a bunch of Saquons.
Okay. Good stuff for the Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check. We'll put a pin in the AJ discussion for now. A few more super chats before we get to the break. We have Polar Jam calling out Myles Garrett, 5 sacks, and the Browns are going to lose by 20. That's the most Mike Trout stat I've ever seen. Shout out to Myles Garrett.
Maybe he wants out.
Says Jalen Hurts is a sneaky MVP candidate, but we've been focused on nitpicks. That's how I know we're happily spoiled. I mean, listen,
you can make the case.
I say that every week.
Last 2 weeks, Jalen Hurts has been awesome by the numbers, and we've all watched it. I think he's playing. He had a little bit of a dip in those 2 losses. On the whole of the season, I think he's playing very well.
Man, we listen. And to that super chat, I say, listen, we nitpick because we've been really spoiled, and I've been an Eagle fan forever. Played with some good quarterbacks. I think, like we talk about your favorite quarterback in Eagles, I think Jalen Hurts was just sitting pretty high up there on the throne.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If success is your ultimate cologne, then he's the best-smelling quarterback in Eagles history.
I mean, listen, the Eagles had 8 offensive drives in this game, essentially. Touchdown, missed field goal, touchdown, punt, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown.
I mean, unbiasedly, if you're looking,
1 of 8 possessions when they didn't at least, attempt a field goal.
If you're looking at NFL MVPs, there's not a lot of people like running away with it per se this year. So it's a very much like up in the air. You can probably have a good top 5 debate about who the league MVPs are through 8 weeks. He can probably wiggle in that top 5.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, especially if this team keeps winning.
So it's not an outlandish thing to say, even though maybe by the end of the year, I think the stats will be there by the end of the year to back it up. Mm-hmm. Maybe for the first couple of weeks with the clunkiness of the offense, it hurts them a little bit, but if winning's all that matters.
What I liked about this offensive performance from a play calling standpoint is it was the first time this season where it didn't feel like the Eagles came into a game like, okay, this is what we want to do this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was not like, okay, this is our under center running game week, or this is our downfield passing game week. It was a little bit of everything. And maybe that is if you want to be really like optimistic and you want to say like maybe the Eagles spent the first 7 weeks of the season working on each thing individually so that they could then put them all together halfway through the season. And now they know all of these things and they can sort of pull what works depending on the
I
situation.
love that spin zone. I'll lean
That's
into
a
that.
real spin zone kind of take. But it looked good today.
I'll lean into that theory, sure.
Cash Squatch says, quiet career for Dallas Goedert. Glad he came back. Dallas Goedert 2 touchdowns in this game, up to a career high 7 touchdowns on the season. And not only that, we have a graphic for it.
That's how good Dallas Goedert has been this year. He got a graphic. Because, Bo, it's going into the bye, and it's already his career high. He's going to even on the safe side of things, he's going to double his touchdown total for a season this year in a contract year for Dallas. So good on him making some money.
10 plus
3 for
touchdowns
28
watch.
And 2 touchdowns for Dallas Goedert. And then Alex says, talking about AJ, not the game, you might be part of the problem. Thank you for the $5. Alex.
Sure.
Alex, it's national media news, bro. We just got to cover it. We got to hit on it.
Well,
we just wanted the thing to work. We with you, Alex.
All right. That'll do it for this opening segment here. Take a quick break. Hear from some sponsors. On the other side, we will enter Fran's film room and talk about what he saw from this successful Eagles day at the office. Holiday steals are here at Ashley. It's the perfect time to get your home ready for the season and save big, from stunning dining sets for all your holiday feasts to super cozy sectionals perfect for movie nights. We have everything you need to make the season magical. And the more you shop, the more you save, with up to 25% off store-wide, or take advantage of our special financing with 5 years no interest. Discover great deals in-store and online only at Ashley.
And you can find out why it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Over 90 million users worldwide. Why? Because they have the best early payouts in sports. They stream over 780,000 events every single year. And with the football early payout offer, woo, if your team goes up by 17 at any point in the game, you'll instantly get a payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. They have same-game parlay Sundays. They have specials for Thursday night and Monday night football. They got a ton of options, and it's never ordinary at Bet365. And breaking news, new customers can get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use that code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Holiday steals are here at Ashley. It's the perfect time to get your home ready for the season and save big, from stunning dining sets for all your holiday feasts. The super cozy sectional is perfect for movie nights. We have everything you need to make the season magical, and the more you shop, the more you save, with up to 25% off store-wide, or take advantage of our special financing with 5 years no interest. Discover great deals in-store and online only at Ashley. Back on the PHLY Eagles postgame show. Time to head to the film room. Speaking of Ashley, it's time for Fran's film room. We bring in now our all-city NFL draft expert. Check out the Fran Duffy draft guide if you are a diehard on allphly.com. Living, breathing scouting reports on everybody you need to know ahead of the draft. And you know he's breaking down the Eagles like nobody in the game. How you doing, Mr. Duffman?
What's going on, guys? How's it going? This one is the first game where it felt like last year, right? Like that's kind of what when I came up here to like full plays, that the post-game feeling, it feels like 2024.
That's a good thing because they won the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, except I'm not here. I'm not there. Exactly right. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm in my upstairs office.
Yeah, must be nice. Must be nice.
Congrats on all your success.
Yeah, before we get into the specifics here, Fran, I wonder what you think about the thing I said before about how it felt like this was the first game all year where they came into the game not being like, okay, this is the way we need to play on offense this week, and they sort of let the game come to them to some degree.
I mean, it was one of my big takeaways from the entire game is just, to me, this was the certainly more than any other game in the Nick Sirianni era. But I'm trying to think, like, when was the last time I saw an opening script from the Eagles offense where you saw under center run game, shotgun run game, RPOs, basic screens, vertical shots. You saw the under center play action game. You saw the jet sweep to Xavier Gipson. And then there was like 12 personnel with 6 offensive linemen, 13 personnel with 6 offensive linemen. You saw Cameron Latu and Grant Calcaterra on the field. You saw Darius Cooper and John Mechie on the field. You saw Xavier Gipson, like I mentioned, but then you also saw all 3 running backs. You saw Bigsby. You saw Shipley. Like, all of this happened in the first, like, 2 to 3 drives. The multiplicity was awesome. And you talk about, like, if you were someone who complained about the predictability of the Eagles offense and it being so vanilla, that was absolutely not the case here in this one. And the opening script, I think, really painted that picture.
Fran, real quick off of that, who gets more credit for the change? Is it as simple as Patullo or Hurts? Is it a combination of everyone and everything kind of buying in there?
That's impossible for us to answer on the outside. And even if they were to say, like, the company line will be that was a team effort or a group effort, and rightfully so. I would say most likely that's on the coaching staff as opposed to the players, but that's impossible to answer because we don't know, like, what that dynamic has been like. We know that they've had all of these reported meetings over these last couple of weeks, but without knowing for certain, because again, players can say things to the media, coaches can say things to the media. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, right? Like they say it, but that doesn't mean that that's reality. And so I think that that's tough for us to answer.
Hey, Fran, I think Patullo said, "I'm throwing everything, the kitchen sink and everything going into my bye week. She was going to be what it's going to be." And I think it trusted itself to just open up his playbook a little bit more. And I think we all like what we saw.
Yeah, I think was awesome. There is the Eagles fan on one shoulder that is thinking, okay, why couldn't we do this every week? Like, why did it take 8 weeks to do this? But if you want to listen to the optimistic Eagles fan on the other shoulder, it's like, okay, listen, this is a first-time play caller. There was obviously going to be a learning curve to some degree. You are allowed to get better as the season goes on. Let's lean into the recency bias and let's say this could be what they're like moving forward. But I guess my question for you is, how bad was that Giants defense? Could this stuff work in a regular week?
I think it absolutely can work in a regular week because these are things that we've been kind of pointing to. Like, you need to be able to do these things if you want to have easy offense in the NFL, because it's hard to kind of toe that line and say, this is the way we're going to play and we're only going to do these 2 or 3 things. And one of those things involves, like, deep balls outside the numbers with no motion, right? If you're going to say, like, we are going to live that way, that's just that it's tough to sustain long-term success in today's NFL. And so, incorporating all the variety from a personnel package standpoint, incorporating the motions and the under center looks and all of the things that I listed out, yeah, like that is absolutely sustainable. And so if they stick to that, I'm really excited about what this offense could be moving forward, especially if A.J. Brown's a part of it.
All right, well, let's talk about how they got things going, because I know that as much as you were rooting for Saquon to finally bust a big play, what you really wanted was them to lean into 6 offensive linemen on the field, because you've been calling for it. And both of those things happened on the second play from scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't necessarily. I get that you want to get big people out in the field and you want to be able to assert your will at the point of attack in the run game, and traditionally you do that with multiple tight ends. But again, teams around the NFL have been doing this for the last several years, where they lean heavily into the use of a 6th offensive lineman. And with the way that the tight ends have been blocking over the first month and change of the season, being able to incorporate Fred Johnson as that extra tight end in these sets and be able to run and throw out of those looks is really huge for this team. And if we go back to the second play of the game, this is going to be Saquon TD1. You go to the first play of the game, you see that the Eagles come out in one of these sets where you've got an extra offensive lineman out in the field. You've got Jalen Hurts under center. So this is going to be a 65-yard under center play for the Philadelphia Eagles, out of 12 personnel with where Fred Johnson is the extra tight end. You see Grant Calcaterra at the bottom of the screen. He's the other tight end here. So Goedert's not even out on the field on this one. You've got 2 receivers out. Now let's take a look at what the play is. This is going to be under center duo. So duo is a gap scheme at your run downhill, where you're going to rely on a double team at the point of attack between your center and your left guard in this instance, because of how the front is deployed on the nose tackle. So Andrew, if you go to the next shot here, you're going to see that you get that nose tackle, or you get that double team here on the nose between Brett Toth and Landon Dickerson. And Dickerson, I mentioned last week how on Monday's show how this was the healthiest he looked all season. Based off broadcast, like there weren't any like down clips of Landon Dickerson this week in the watching this live on TV. I'm excited to see what it looks like on film, but he looked like his normal self. And so you see the movement here at the point of attack, but Landon's not done, because he's going to work up to the second level, get the linebacker, and then he's going to get a piece of the pursuit defender as well. So Landon Dickerson impacts 3 players here on this one. But what I really like is Saquon Barkley here. Andrew, if you go to the next shot, you're going to see that Saquon, as he approaches the line of scrimmage, that initial insert point here for him on the right side is pretty shut down. Like, you're not going to get the running lanes here, but he puts his foot in the ground. He's 3 or 4 yards deep in the backfield, and he sees that backside double team working for him with Landon Dickerson working up to the second level, and now he's off to the races. And one of the things that you need from a defense, if you're going to play, especially if you're going to play like an umbrella coverage where those guys are playing from depth at the safety spot, you need them to make sure that they're filling their gaps with authority. And you're going to see here on this one that the safety, Tyler Nubin, he's a little bit slow, filling from the backside, and then the angle is just erased here from Saquon Barkley. If we go to the next shot here, you're going to see Dickerson up at the second level on the backer. Saquon already has eyes for that backside safety. He's trusting that DeVonta Smith is going to block the backside corner. He's going to do his job. Mailata has sealed off the backside end. So now you've got Barkley getting up to the third level. He sees that safety, and it's up to him to make him miss. And if we go to the last shot, you're going to see that he just puts on the Jets, and he makes Tyler Nubin, the second-round pick from last year, miss out in space just with pure speed. There's no wiggle here. There's no contact balance here. This is an understanding of angles, understanding of space, and I'm faster than you here on this play. And so Saquon gets the corner. 65 yards later, he's got his longest touchdown of the year.
Fran, he almost hit 22 miles an hour on that play. I think we can lay to rest that Saquon maybe physically isn't feeling as good as he was last year.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that a lot of people have been pointing to a lot of the yards before contact, yards after contact numbers, and said, oh, like the yards before contact's not good, but the yards after contact isn't good either, so he's not creating. I will say, like, when you're getting hit at the line of scrimmage, like, the whole point of that is that you are trying to take away momentum for the running back. And for a back like Saquon, it's harder for him to make people miss if that forward momentum is stopped early in the down. It's like a Derrick Henry thing. Like, he's not a guy that is going to, like, Shady McCoy was one, like, yeah, if you impact him late, he's got that creativity, that Houdini-like quality that he can make people miss in the back. Saquon's not like that. He's more of, straight line explosive. Now, he makes insane lateral cuts as well. It's not that he's completely stiff laterally, but he is more built for that straight line downhill explosiveness. And that's a good example there on that play.
And that was not his only touchdown on the day, Fran. No. He also had a receiving touchdown, as it looked like Jalen Hurts read the blitz coming and knew exactly where his answer was.
Yeah, Andrew, this will be Saquon catch. And this one, honestly, this was a busted coverage here from the New York Giants, but we'll throw it in just to show the recognition here from Jalen Hurts. He's going to have Saquon Barkley releasing out into the flat. Dallas Goedert is working up to the top. The way I imagine that this is supposed to go is that this is going to be a read for Jalen Hurts where, all right, it's a high-low read between Goedert and Saquon Barkley to the boundary side. And then he's going to have Jahan Dotson coming on a shallow cross behind it. And that, I think, would be, all right, if the coverage played out like it should, the ball's probably going to Dotson here on a shallow cross. Now, the Giants are blitzing here on this play. And so, Andrew, if you go to the next shot, you can see that you've got both linebackers blitzing. You've got all 4 down defensive linemen all rushing as well. That's 6 rushers. No one goes with Saquon Barkley. So now it happened that the drive before this was the Scadaboo touchdown where Patrick Johnson peeled off on Scadaboo and lost him out in space, and it turned into a touchdown. So Brady immediately pointed to Kayvon Thibodeau and was like, yeah, I think this is going to be on Thibodeau. It might have been Thibodeau. It also might have been either of these 2 linebackers that were responsible for Saquon as well. Like, it was somehow that call was not communicated to the entire group. Somebody left Saquon wide open here, and it's just a great job. You go to the next shot here, Andrew. Jalen sees it quickly, and he's able to get it over the hands of the free rusher there in Kayvon Thibodeau, and he gets to Saquon Barkley, and Saquon walks into the end zone with ease.
Nicely done by Jalen. And the Eagles continue to be nails in the red zone, which has been a through line for them all season long. Let's go to our
On
next
both
one
sides.
here. Fran, what do you got for us?
Yeah, let's go to the Dallas Goedert touchdown. This was Dallas slant here, Andrew. And look, this one, they go empty here on the. And again, this is just kind of like you're sprinkling in a little bit of everything, a lot of variety here from the Eagles offense in this game. And I didn't circle anything. I almost want to just kind of point out it's not just going out empty and you're trying to spread the defense out. You're also trying to get an understanding of like, all right, where are the matchups? What kind of coverage are they playing? So just from left to right, so bottom to top here, you've got Dallas Goedert at the far outside. You've got Jahan Dotson as the inside slot. Then you've got Saquon Barkley, DeVonta. Then you've got DeVonta at the far end. I believe that's Cooper, Darius Cooper, in the slot to the right hand side. So you've got tight end, receiver, running back, receiver. So just by the different alignments of these players, you're getting a little bit of information in terms of what is this going to be man? Is this going to be zone? What are we looking at here? You've got a safety over Goedert. That's an immediate tell that you're going to get some form of man-to-man. You've got 6 guys up in the line of scrimmage. There's nobody in the end zone at all. So this looks like it's going to be some kind of a pressure look here for Jalen. So he's got to expect that he's probably going to be hot on this play. The ball's got to come out fast. Now they're running a double slant concept. It's a tosser concept where you've got the inside slant from Jahan Dotson and the outside slant from Dallas Goedert. So if we go to the next shot here, Andrew, it's imperative that Jahan Dotson, he has got to win, and he's got to win fast inside. He can't get held up by the jam from the nickel corner. This ends up not being a zero blitz. So Jalen, he's going to throw this hot, but he's got to be wary that you've got 2 underneath defenders dropping off. It's still going to be a zero-ish coverage in that there's no safety help, but you've got 2 hole players underneath. So it's going to be a little bit of a tighter window here for Jalen. And again, that really ups the ante for Jahan Dotson here. He has got to win inside, and he's got to do it fast, because if he doesn't do it fast, if he doesn't occupy that nickel corner, that window is going to be really tight, and Jalen might be throwing a pick 6 here on this play. And so really good job from Jahan Dotson of winning quickly, crossing that defender's face and opening up that window. Jalen is wary of that underneath defender. If you go to the next shot here, Andrew, the last one, you can see that there's enough space. The ball's already out of Jalen's hands at this point. He puts it right on Goedert, and Goedert's able to power his way into the end zone. Obviously, this would have gone for a first down, but then Dallas able to punch it in there for the first of 2 touchdowns on National Tight End Day.
Fran, is it safe to say that Kevin Patullo has a red zone tight end kink?
I don't know if it's necessarily a tight end kink as much as it is just, hey, like, we want to get our best players the football, and they've been one of the best red zone teams in football this year. We've seen creativity, we've seen them leaning into their best players. It's been really fun to watch this group when they get inside the 20-yard line.
I appreciate you giving Jahan Dotson the shout out there, because that is a guy who has been doing a lot of just running around on offense all season long, not getting a lot of balls. He did get that touchdown today, but that
sure did.
goes to show you why he's still on the field. And then one more Dallas Goedert touchdown to go over here. This is a familiar play for the Eagles, friend.
This got our friend Mina Kimes excited. She loves this play.
Well, this was really fun, and it was one of those, like, as it happened, I was like, oh, like, I got like an audible reaction out of me as I was watching. But the big thing that I was interested after going back and watching it, like, all right, I want to hear what Dallas and what Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts say about this play. Like, if this was the design or if this was almost an ad lib between those 2 players. And let me show you exactly what I mean. This is a play off of what we've seen them run, a million times over the last few years. So you go back to 2021 with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts making their maiden voyage together as a head coach and quarterback tandem. It's basically off their split zone action. So Andrew, if you go, this is Goedert RPO touchdown here. You're basically faking like it's going to be, it's not even a fake. You're reading if it's going to be an inside zone handoff to the running back. So that's Tank Bigsby in the backfield. Goedert looks like he's going to block Abdul Carter. He's going to block that backside defensive end, but Jalen's going to read it. I'm either going to hand this off or I'm going to keep it and throw it to Dallas Goedert. He's going to fake like he's going to block the defensive end, and then he's going to work towards the flat. Again, we've seen this 1,000,001 times over the course of their career together. So now if you go to the next shot here, obviously, so Goedert is going to fake like he's blocking Carter. Carter is going to try and work inside. He's going to try and attack the back. Goedert's going to work inside. DeVonta Smith is working in to basically set a pick here for the linebacker that's over Goedert. Now, the linebacker, he's able to slip that little rub element there from DeVonta Smith, but not well enough. As we go to the next shot, you can see the linebacker kind of stumbles here on this play. Now, it happens like simultaneously. You can see that Goedert is already kind of working up the field. So I was able to go back and just listen to what Goedert said after the game, just before I came on. He said that, yeah, like the way that they were playing this. Now, I don't know if this was, hey, the way that they were playing this earlier in the game, we put this adjustment in. He's already working upfield. So I don't know if he just knew, like, hey, he's going to overplay this and get to the flat fast. So we're going to work this up the field. Or if he saw, like, hey, the linebacker stumbled here, I'm going to work vertical because, I'm not going to just run to where he's going to fall. And Jalen was just on the same page. Either way, I mean, this works perfectly. The linebacker ends up on the ground. We'll go to the next shot here, Andrew. The linebacker ends up on the ground. Goedert's working vertically up the field. He's wide open, and he walks in for a touchdown. It was beautifully executed. And my read on it was that this was not necessarily an ad lib, but just a post snap feel from Dallas and from Jalen. And look, that's the benefit of having guys that are that have had this simpatico, that have been working so closely together for 4 or 5 years now.
So, Fran, do you think the Eagles win this game if they don't blow the ball dead and Jalen Hurts fumbles on the tush push?
It was definitely a fumble.
It was definitely a fumble. Now, we're gonna go tinfoil hat here.
Oh,
what if the league's like, yeah, we want the controversy with this. We want the controversy here because that's all the social media reaction was. They got to get rid of this play. They can't. The leaning into of the officials can't handle it. I think is only going to be enhanced.
Don't you think if they were actually doing it, they would want to punish the Eagles?
I think, but they're playing the long game. This is the long-term punishment.
I don't think this crew, given the decisions we saw them make in real time, was able to think that big picture.
Brian, I mean, the Brian Daboll reaction at the end of the game is, I mean, it's an all-timer, an all-time moment from an opposing coach on the sideline.
He was trying to challenge anything he could, Fran.
I did not mess up my diaper.
the angriest replacement of the headset I've ever seen.
I also like the ref being like, and listen, I told him he can't challenge that. You don't get a lot of first person statements from the ref.
Only to have Daboll then say, I'm challenging something. Like, I'm throwing something out here.
Yeah.
Hey, Fran, last week, and I know you're just watching the game live. You haven't had a chance to dive into the tape yet. You'll look at that more tomorrow. I kind of buried the guy last week, but it looked like to the naked eye that Brett Toth had a pretty solid game out there today. Did you get the same feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed that way, and especially considering the fact that he's going up against Dexter Lawrence and sees a lot of reps against him over the course of the game. It seemed like, I mean, there weren't any huge negatives, so I think that certainly stands out for sure. A lot of these runs, for the most part, were able to hit outside, away from Toth and away from Dexter Lawrence, but that's good coaching and good game planning coming into this one.
And what did you make of Tank?
I mean, it is very funny that the team went so hard into, like, he is not here to challenge for running back carries. He is only here to be a kick returner, and he was not good as a returner for the first several weeks.
And because they told people that, they spent 4 weeks trying to make it happen when they could have just let him be a running back the whole time.
Yeah, and look, this is the Tank Bigsby that I was excited about when he was coming out of Auburn a couple years ago. Like, he's got that ability to be, I think of like Jordan Howard, I think of some of these guys that have been like that, the high cut, like straight line, hard charging between the tackles runners, like a little Bryce Brownish, which ironically enough, first time since Shady and Bryce Brown in 2013 that we saw two running backs go for 100 in the same game. But he's got that kind of, he brings that element that the Eagles need. I can't imagine we see another A.J. Dillon carry in an Eagles uniform.
Fran, was that game against the Giants?
Oh, it might have been.
It might have been. I feel like it might have been a night game against the Giants at the LINC. I think that's right.
And Bryce Brown always to the outside. With just whatever.
Oh yeah.
Whatever he could do, let me bust this thing to the outside.
Oh man, Bryce Brown was a freakish athlete. He was so fast. He treated NFL football like youth football, everything to the outside.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
Bo Jackson Jr.
Yeah, but if you see how big he is, he's like, there's no way he's going to go outside.
And then he would hit like right in front of the sideline and then just turn upfield and run. Quick. It was like turn the corner.
So, Fran, before we let you go, the Eagles don't play a game, I believe, right, before the NFL trade deadline? What?
No, this was it, right?
What would you think is more likely here? Adding to that DN room or the cornerback too? I feel like I ask you every week, but the team evolves week by week here. They're not going to play football again before the trade deadline. What do you think? What do you know, Mr. Duffy?
Yeah. I think that the supply and demand of pass rushers makes it a difficult market for the Eagles. I think that when you look at it, there are a lot of teams that are looking for pass rush help. And because it's going to be a seller's market, I think it's going to require an overpay if you're going to bring anybody of substance in. I think the addition of Brandon Graham and the incoming return of Nolan Smith, they might see that as enough. I don't know if that's right or not, but I think they might see that as enough. But obviously, look, I think anything's on the table with Howie. If I had to guess, I think it's probably more likely it's a corner. But that's a tough one. I thought you were going to make that an AJ Brown question, and that would have gone against what you guys agreed upon before the last break.
Yeah, no, we agreed. What AJ Brown thing?
I do want to know just generally what you thought about this defensive performance, because we in the kickoff show, you broke down the things that the Eagles defense did not do against Jaxson Dart and Cam Scadaboo the first time around. Now, you feel bad for Scadaboo suffering that injury, but what did you see from them from just like a tackling and a want-to standpoint today?
I think they responded exactly the way you wanted them to respond. I do agree. You mentioned at halftime, like there were a lot of snaps where, Jaxson Dart did have a lot of time back there. There were, however, a lot of those snaps where, they're running stunts to kind of contain and mush rush him, where it's not necessarily like, hey, we want to try and create quick pressure. The Jalen Carter sack does come to mind on that one where, he's not like looping around as a I'm going to try and get home as a winner here. He's there kind of lying in wait for as the coverage kind of locked down on the back end. So there were a handful of those kind of rushes there from the defense, but this group responded the way that you were hoping they would respond after two Thursdays ago.
All right. I mean, it's hard to say based off the tape, but I thought Ringo did okay in this game.
Look, that receiver room. That's not Amani Toomer and Ike Hilliard walking through that door. So it's that's not a great receiver room right now.
Not even
like
Steve
check the box.
Smith.
Well, listen, listen. Like, it's a confidence booster for him, though, going into the Bible.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta make the bad receiving cores look bad, and that's what they did tonight.
All right. Well, Fran Duffy, nobody does it better. That's the Fran's Film Room, presented by Ashley. We will look forward to talking to you tomorrow at 2:00 to get really into the weeds about this impressive performance. And just so you know, just under the gun, Fran, a super chat from Nikki coming in with a Fran.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Fran.
Check out the Diehard Draft Guide. Subscribe to the draft newsletter.
And if you want to, if you're just now hearing about it, first of all, give a little a pitch, because people don't necessarily know just how dynamic and in-depth this thing is, and then I'll tell people how they can
how sick in the head you are. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, look. You could sit on you're watching college football on a Saturday, and you're like, all right, who are the top prospects I got to be watching? You literally go open the Diehard Draft Guide. You plug in Oregon, you plug in Penn State, whoever you're watching, and all the top prospects that I've evaluated so far will show up there, right on your screen with full scouting reports, strength, weaknesses, scheme fits, and pro comparisons and numbers. Like I've done deep dives on over 150 players so far, getting ready for next spring's draft. Look, it's constantly evolving. I'm in there adding information this morning from last night's game. So this is going to be a living and breathing document, very much so.
Fran, you're gonna have all the NFL agents logging on to it.
You're not kidding.
And if those NFL agents, I don't know, wanted to get in at a good price,
exactly right.
Fran, we have this 55% off deal.
That's
this
right.
guy Brandon Graham's returning, 55% off. It's an all-time low price for you to get in to get the full Fran Duffy draft guide and his mental illness of college
In addition
scouting.
to E.J. Smith and Les Bowen and
And
Charlie
merch.
O'Connor and Kyle Newbeck and all the merch and all that stuff.
It's such a good
It's
deal
a
right now.
no-brainer.
So hop in, grab the BG is back special for the diehard membership.
Thank you, Fran. Talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Yep,
Fran.
talk tomorrow.
See you, Fran.
And with that, we send this to a quick break. On the other side, we'll get into some beef of the week.
Ooh.
It looks like Fran has a great setup there, and it's good for watching things that have already happened, the tape. But when he's watching something live, I went over there for a game the other day, lagging, buffering, switching between apps just to try to find out where to go. I thought he was a fan. Turns out I was fan fished. He didn't have Xfinity. That's the problem. Because Xfinity is the perfect fan flex. You get all the action right in your living room. Plus, Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear it feels like you're in the stadium. Sometimes you can get 4 games going at once because why not? And on top of that, real-time notifications, live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
Everybody's got their favorite hard tea, but have you ever turned the can to read what's in it? You can't because they don't tell you. And that's what they hide, what's inside. At Crooked Tea, they brag about what's inside. Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor and 0 sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So next time you're at the store, flip that can around. And if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. Then grab yourself some Crooked Tea. 0 sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real. So why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea. The only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you.
Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, and it's time to put you on the hook here, Vinny. It's time for the Righteous Felon Beef of the Week. Very good.
I got good categories this week.
You got some good options here. Now, the Beef of the Week, we're giving to somebody on the line of scrimmage. Offensive line or defensive line. A Righteous Felon. They give it to like their employee of the week. We stay with the big hog mollies. Where are you going?
So, Bo, in case you didn't know, I'm going O Jamal for the Beef of the Week. I'm going to go O Jamal for the Beef of the Week, man. You've been playing out of your mind. This game, you was all over. You are my pick for Beef of the Week.
Leads the Eagles with 4
What's that?
sacks on the season, as you said.
Going into the bye week as well. That's nice little number to sit on.
Feeling
going into
good,
the bye.
yeah.
Feeling
Is
good about
this
yourself.
is this Moro's first Beef of the Week?
Might be a second.
It might be a second. I feel like he did get one honor
Might be a
before.
second. He might be leading the team in Beef of the Weeks.
2-time Beef of the Week.
Now, I am not the official administrator of the Beef of the Week, but I would say a runner-up beef candidate. I think Mr. Landon Dickerson, Fran called it out. I thought he looked more like himself this week than he has in previous weeks. So if we had a runner-up beef stick, maybe the lemon pepper or the habanero, if the OG...
I'm a soul survivor man myself.
Ooh, the OG hickory is my girl's favorite. Maybe Landon gets a little runner-up prize there. I thought he looked like himself.
Listen, Vinny is more likely to give it to a defensive guy. That's
always.
okay. You know where, where it comes from.
Okay, you got me. Vinny, you being biased. Yeah, you got me. But
We'll have
listen.
to go review the tape. Has he given an offensive lineman?
I think there's one.
Yeah?
I think there might be one.
Offensive bias there, Vinny.
Hey, man, listen. My man Saquon getting hit in the backfield too much for me.
Well, you're not wrong, though.
You're not wrong there.
Beef of the Week.
What a relief for you to finally get to really give a
Saquon!
full throat. Saquon! Fantastic. All right, that'll
Thank
do
you,
it for
Righteous
the
Felon.
Righteous Felon Beef of the Week. Who's ready for some defensive snap count?
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
Only 43 snaps for the Eagles. on
Wow,
defense
that's a
in this
low
game.
number.
That's when you know that game is running flow and it was a running game.
This
going into
is
the bye
according
week
to
with
True
this.
Media.
Dang,
So thank you
bro.
to True Media. All 43 snaps for Zach Bond, who I thought was a little bit quiet. It's been a little bit quiet the last couple of weeks.
He got a sack today.
Had a sack, yep. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and Drew Makuba. 41 of 43 snaps for Jalen Carter.
Listen, I thought Jalen Carter was one of his best games.
Mm-hmm.
He did get his 9-second dart scramble sack, so that was good to see. But he did have his presence felt a little bit during this game. So hopefully he's rounding that corner right into bye week, get rested up, and dominate the second half.
41 snaps as well for Keely Ringo. 35 snaps for Jalix Hunt. And then this is the really interesting
By the way, real
thing.
quick on Hunt, he's becoming like
Hey,
He
a
was getting in the
very exciting player. He's everywhere.
sneaking up.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and Jalix have a bit of a connection, right?
Yeah, that's
he's a little bit like the Vinny Curry of this team.
Yeah. Man, listen, he is a spark plug, and I feel like if I always say Jalen Hurts, you will say I'm biased again. So you know what I mean? It just,
No,
but I like the way he's playing. He's playing well. He's showing up on tape, and that's one thing. You know, us Eagle fans and, you know, us in the media want to see. We just want to see guys that play hard and they show up week in and week out on tape. And he's been consistent for the last 3 weeks or so.
So this is the most interesting thing about the defensive snap counts today, and we saw it during the game. Now, Jahad Campbell, I think, was maybe in the tent at one point, but 32 snaps for Nakobe Dean, 19 for Jahad Campbell. And you saw when they were in the base defense that it was Nakobe inside and Jahad on the edge sometimes. But about like halfway through this game or somewhere in the second quarter, when they were nickel, it was Nakobe. And Jahad Campbell, the first-round pick who had such a good start to the season, was on the sideline. What do you make of that?
That's a hard. That's a hard. What do you make of? Because Nakobe, you let his presence be known today as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I'm gonna leave this to you, Jamie.
I mean, my guess, and Vinny, you have much more knowledge than I do. My guess is it's out of necessity more than anything,
Right?
just because they're so low in the defensive edge group that they need him there. I think when BG and Nolan Smith are going to be back, it's going to be very interesting to see what the base package is. But Nakobe flashed today again.
Yes, he did.
And Jahad had flashed earlier in the season. He's had kind of a quiet, like, past 2 or 3 weeks, but they've been kind of yo-yoing him back and forth between positions. So he's kind of in between a rock and a hard place right now, Jahad. And Nakobe's playing very well for a guy returning from injury. This is going to be interesting after the bye, how they handle this. It's a good problem to have ultimately, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
30 snaps for Josh Uche, 26 for Patrick Johnson. He was victimized on that touchdown to Scadaboo in the first half. 26 for Jordan Davis, 25 for Moro Ojimo, 10 for Byron Young, 8 for Perry Nickerson. These are all coming at the end of the game there when they put the backups in. 7 for Marcus Epps, 7 for Sidney Brown, 7 for Jeremiah Trotter Jr., 7 for Smile Mondon, 7 for Mac McWilliams, 7 for Ty Robinson.
You want to hear something crazy, though? Jordan Davis, this is quietly his best season since he's been on the Eagles, bro.
Absolutely.
This is, and then it's like, I don't think we talk about it. Here I am talking about defensive linemen again. But it really is.
You say what you know. Teach what you know.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, this is quietly like his best season this season. And listen, man, just keep doing your thing, big fella.
By the way, Smile Mondon, he looks a little small out there, doesn't he? He kind of got toasted on that one play. And then
more of a frown Mondon to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jeremiah Trotter Jr. laying the boom down by the goal line.
Nice.
That was nice to see.
I wanted him to get up and hit the axe with it, but you know.
I guess you got to save that for the backfield.
Yeah, save it for not garbage time.
Yeah. Did Trot ever hit it in non-backfield situations?
Listen, you got to make the most of your opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. Special teams, good return from Will Shipley. That was nice to see. The kickoff return unit looks a little bit better. And then Jake Elliott hitting the upright from 57. I thought that was good.
That would have been good from 70.
It's like halfway up the thing.
That was a bomb.
Yeah.
And by the way, while we're giving special teams love out, Braden Mann with an absolute donkey leg today.
Yeah, he's so bad at short field and so good at just kick the ball as far as he
kicked from the goal line. It was a 67-yard punt in the air. That was a bomb. So good on Braden Mann today.
The man.
Some more super chats to get to, and then we will transition our way to EJ Smith shortly. But first, Rohit says maybe time to sell because of AJ's injury history. Also, his play style, physical, probably won't age well, and he's 28 years old. Rohit, did you get the memo? We're not talking about AJ until we get to EJ. But I think if you wanted to make the case for trading AJ Brown, I think that would be part of it. Matt Steinmetz says, Bo and Fran, no longer here, assuming how he makes a deal for a starter. But this is the question that Jamie asked anyway, so you made it happen. If they were going to make a trade, how many turkeys would you put on edge versus corner? Although I actually disagree with Fran.
You think edge is still more likely?
I think edge is more likely still.
What about the scarcity of the market? That worries me a little bit.
It's true, but it's also, I think it's much harder to find a starting caliber corner than a guy who can contribute to an edge rotation.
Sure. But with Cooper, yeah. I mean, it's still starting quality, but because you have such pluses in Cooper and Quinyon. It just needs to be better than a Bennett or Ringo, or it doesn't have to be the highest ilk cornerback.
That's true.
It's going to be interesting. They're definitely going to make a move. I mean, they're on the goal line here of another run.
Well, I just, how he
got to push that baby
he
in.
He made all those deals right before the season. He's got an itch he needs to scratch. He's going to do something.
Yeah.
How he can't just stand still. Joe Sandoval says, should we keep Toth at center and put Juergens at right guard when he comes back? The past 2 games, Jalen is balling.
I think that's a little bit
of an interesting causation correlation.
Tyler Steen erasure, right? Like I feel like he's been
fine. Yeah, I thought Brett Toth played well today from first blush. We'll wait and see what the tape says. But I'm not quite ready to get to. He needs to be in the lineup. Yeah.
No, I think Tyler Steen's been doing an all right job this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not in a rush.
I think Smoking Joe's just saying that Toth is doing a good job.
Amen to that.
I think he looked night and day compared to last week and this week. How Toth did, and granted, a full week of practice at center, getting all the reps. Like I'm sure that helps. So yeah, I think he did a nice job today.
Toth's a good dude.
I like Toth.
He's got to be. He's been back like 13
about,
times. You don't bring back a-holes 13 different times. You only bring back the
He understands style.
And Stout understands him. Here we go. All right, time for our last break. On the other side, we will be joined on the Xfinity mobile call-in line by our friend, EJ Smith, the Eagles insider. Whether your favorite team wins or not, or on this day, the Eagles won, so you don't have to worry about the not part, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, a BetParx exclusive. The only app you ever need to play your favorite casino games in the palm of your hand. You can play blackjack. You can play roulette. You can play craps, poker, baccarat, hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. You can play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders. And all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your smile says a lot. And let me introduce you to the group that's going to help you say exactly what you want to. Who dat? It's Doodad, the Doodad Dental Group. This is the team trusted to care for one of our city's greatest assets, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now entering their 5th season as the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dr. D and his team have proudly served Philadelphia and its fans for over 20 years. They do it all, from robotic implant surgeries to Invisaligns to veneers, emergencies, and so much more. Locally owned and operated, Dr. Doodad is a proud graduate of North Penn High School and Temple University School of Dentistry. His commitment to the health and confidence of our community runs deep. Whether you're an MVP or a lifelong fan, this is the team you want caring for your smile. Check them out at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com and discover how you can smile like the birds.
All right, back on the PHLY Eagles postgame show. Time now to fire up the Xfinity mobile call-in line and head down to the field at the LINC, where none other than EJ Smith is here to give us the scoop. Oh,
look at that
shot. Yo, E, I feel like you found the perfect backdrop, bro.
Hey, listen, Vinny, I need all the help I can get. You got to be able to look at something when I'm on here. So I try. I make an effort.
Yeah. Too. You got the clouds behind you.
I think it's Photoshop. Yeah, it looks fake.
I mean, listen, it's a perfect fall day. We all know that I'm a big lover of the fall weather. So yeah, no, nothing to complain about. And big Eagles win, a complete victory is what I wanted to come on here and say.
Who gets your candy apple of the game?
I'm not a big candy apple guy, but
rip your fillings out, EJ.
Yeah,
good.
well, unless you're doing like a gourmet one. But let's see. I mean, I'm gonna
Mr. Too Good for the common man's candy apple.
You gotta put something else on that thing right there. Yeah, candy apple of the game. I mean,
can you give it to slice of the game?
You know what? I'm gonna take a really deep cut here. I'm not gonna go with anybody obvious. Brett Toth. You know, the Eagles offensive line, I just came out of the locker room, heard a lot about the way that the offensive line looked. And Brett Toth, I mean, we all had a lot of questions going into this game about how he'd look. For them to have such a dominant performance, yeah, right. For him to have such a dominant performance, or for them to have a dominant performance with him at center, I think that is a significant one. So let's give Brett Toth some flowers. How about that?
Let's give him some pumpkins.
Some apples.
Yeah, some orange flowers, some nice fall foliage. Okay, you spoke to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts in this game, 15 of 20 for 179 yards, 4 touchdowns, a 141.5 quarterback rating, high up on his career list of EPA per dropback. Good stuff from Jalen Hurts. What did he say about the offensive performance and how they fared without A.J. Brown?
Well, I think the most punchy quote that he gave was actually talking about his performance specifically. He said the best is yet to come. After what really is a career stretch for Jalen Hurts. Honestly, I think he might be playing himself into the MVP conversation, but yeah, he says the best is yet to come. He kept using the word, getting into a flow, getting into a rhythm, with Kevin Patullo, with the Eagles offense. I think that we're really starting to see them figure out this identity. I thought it was also very interesting that Jalen Hurts said that he's been enjoying the under center play, the under center formations, what they open up for the offense. Seems like he talked about the fact that they can marry up the run and the pass through those looks, and that they're a lot more balanced out of those under center formations. So I think that it's something that the Eagles have really figured out that they can lean on this year. I also found it interesting, he was asked about Jordan Mailata talking about things that they can and can't do, right? And Jalen says, well, I don't think there's anything we can't do. So, it's kind of a window into how confident this Eagles offense is now that they finally did put together a complete game with the run and pass game.
So he's been enjoying under center a little bit more lately. That's just a joke for myself.
Yeah.
What did you make of what did the guys in the locker room say about the running game? Because obviously that is a huge part of this. They've been trying to get it fixed all year long. Took until this week, but boy, were they dominant this week. 276 rushing yards to 68 for the Giants. Blew them off the line of scrimmage. Success inside and outside. What did they say about how that all came together?
Yeah, the word that stood out to me was Jordan Mailata using the word validating for the way that the run game looked. They've spent, maybe it was a leading question on my part. I might have given him that word, and he kind of ran with it.
Was this validating?
Well, specifically, what was validating was two things. So the 65-yard touchdown from Saquon Barkley. I think that we've heard them talk so much all season about the fact that they're close. They're this close. They're one block away, and for them to finally break off that explosive run, I think it was validating, which is why I asked the question. And I think what was interesting is Jordan talked about Tank Bigsby. I can't say I coined the Tank Bigsby game, but I do think that there are people out there who coined the Tank Bigsby game. And Jordan Mailata said that the fact that he came in and had that production, it was also validating because it's like, okay, like the run game is so effective that you don't need a superhero back there. Not no shade to Tank Bigsby here, but I think that it really was like the fact that it didn't taper off when Saquon Barkley left the game. I think that was a big encouraging sign for the Eagles offensive line.
Do you think that they get the sense that this is how they can play moving forward?
I do. Now, it was interesting. Like Saquon talked mostly about the offensive lineman being the difference in the run game. And, I asked him well, were there schematic things that you guys got to that, maybe some different levers that you were able to pull? And Saquon talked about the outside runs and the under center looks being part of the reason that they were able to have the success that they had. And I do think that's a big part of it. But I also think, I think the word balance is really the one that keeps coming front to mind for me, because I think the fact that they were able to run and pass out of these looks, and really be able to kind of like the word Jalen Hurts uses, gain leverage from those looks. I think that was a really big part of it. It really kind of did more come down to guys executing on their assignments than necessarily like a schematic shift, which is honestly was a surprise for me. When I went down there, I thought it was going to be more about some of the things that they got to.
I think that makes sense. From just a physicality standpoint, we talked about it, and I think Jordan Mailata talked about it in the week leading up to the game that he specifically was embarrassed about that performance. Did you get the sense that like this was a thing that they wanted to come out and prove to that Giants team?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think it was actually a message pushed by Jordan Mailata himself all week, was that they needed to be more physical than the Giants after the way that the game went 2 games ago. So yeah, no, I think it was a point of emphasis. I don't know. Again, I think it was from Mailata specifically, but I mean, you see that kick out block that he has on the or I guess a seal out block that he has on Saquon Barkley's touchdown run. I think that was a point of emphasis for him this week. He talked about beating up on the scout team guys all week and telling that, how like they were getting annoyed with him. And he's like, I need to make sure that I'm more physical this week because he talked about it. The previous game against the Giants, he felt like, he was passive, overly passive. And he said that it was one of his worst games. So yeah, no, definitely a bounce back performance for him. And really just the Eagles offensive line in general. We heard that Fred Johnson had a speech in the offensive line room this week. They apparently do these every week where somebody will talk about their background and have an overarching message. And Fred Johnson's was fight for your right. And that was a big thing that you heard Jordan Mailata and Brett Toth both talk about as being a motivational thing that they all took into the game.
Well, EJ,
I did not have Fred Johnson pegged as a Beastie Boys guy.
Well, he does have a great story. I may have written about his story at my previous place of employment, and yeah, he came from some extreme circumstances. He had to overcome a lot to get to the Eagles, and I really do think it can't be overstated how important it was for him to become like part of the Jeff Stoutland nucleus, because I think that having a coach that believed in him was really important in his career. So I think some of that stuff was front of mind for a lot of these guys going into this game.
EJ, Fran touched on it, and I kind of noticed it in the game. Did you feel like this was like the first game of the year where Landon Dickerson was kind of Landon Dickerson of old? Like, was he?
Yeah,
he
talked.
Was he feeling good?
Yeah, he said that he was feeling like around 75%, I think, during the week. But yeah, he said that he was feeling good, and I do think like you saw like what the impact of having like a healthy-ish group out there had on things. I mean, obviously Cam Jurgens out, but Brett Toth played well at center. I get the sense from talking to guys in there that they think that Brett Toth is actually a center that plays all the other positions because they need him to. I mean, and if you look at his body type, it makes sense. And I think also the mental side of things, they say he really is best suited as a center. So I thought Landon had a great game. I thought Mailata obviously had a great game, and Toth, even like, the one screen to Saquon Barkley, Steen and I think it was Brett Toth and Tyler Steen both get out in space and just like destroy guys to clear out space for Saquon. So it was a good game. I think it's also probably in part like because the Eagles are, using more outside runs, more toss plays, plays that get those guys in space. I don't know if like the Eagles offensive line is equipped to like just move people the way it did last year. Maybe not like as the main ingredient on the menu every week, but I do think if you get those guys out in space, they're all great athletes. And I think you saw today what they're able to do to clear out running lanes for Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby in those scenarios.
What was the general point of view of the defense, and what do you make of this defensive performance, given that the Giants lost their most interesting player on offense? Jaxson Dart still moved the ball pretty well on them. Obviously, there's a touchdown pass to Darius Slayton that gets called back for a kind of a ticky-tack penalty. Do you feel good about this group right now?
I mean, I do. I was thinking about coming on here and like teasing you, like, it turns out that Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter, if they play, things look a little bit different there.
What?
But
just make a fool
are
out
you
of
going to give me
yourself?
some? You're going to have some fake outrage or some aggrieved aggrievement here.
I mean, they gave up a touchdown that should have been a touchdown. That would have been 27 points against a team that has nobody on offense other than a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, I do think they looked better. I thought that what I wrote on allphly.com in our takeaways piece that the defense kind of went from looking like the bullied to the bullies this time around against the Giants. And I do feel that way. I mean, there were a lot of big hits in this game. Like even Zach Bond played a much better game. I was interested to see like the Nakobe Dean effect. You saw him in nickel in place of Jahad Campbell a lot more today. So, no, I mean, I overall, I don't think that the defense is as good as last year. I don't think that they're necessarily a top 5 unit in the NFL, but I thought they played well today. And I think, there's reason to believe that they will continue to progress into being like, sound. I think that it's fair to say that they've won this team some games in this early stretch. And I think, again, there's some room for growth, especially as the trade deadline comes up and you start to think about some ways that they might be able to address a couple positions.
So, EJ, the Birds don't play football again before the trade deadline. And we got any, you want to coin anything here? With all the people watching, any bold predictions?
We have a super chat just for you on this front, EJ, from Matt Steinmetz, who says, "Nice collar." Says Howie go edge or corner 2.
I probably, if I had to guess, I'd put like 65 turkeys on edge and then 35 on corner 2. Well, yeah, probably like 30 on corner 2 and 5 on everything else. I still think they could use some pass rush, even with Nolan Smith back and BG, working into things here. I feel like they could use that number one guy. If you told me that they had like an impact, if they could get an impact player or someone that they think could develop into that, I think that would make a lot of sense. I think it probably would be easier to find like either a slot corner that you feel good about or like an outside corner that's just going to be solid. But I just think if you can get enough pass rush, you probably feel good about this group, even with whether it's Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson out there.
Now, I do have to ask you, EJ. I've been trying to not talk about the AJ Brown stuff on the show, but Vinny just keeps bringing it up. He's like, we got to talk about this. Everybody's talking about it. Let's ask EJ about it. So fine, we'll ask you. Given the way that today played out, and for the first time basically ever since AJ Brown got here, they looked good on offense without him. How do you think that factors into the Eagles' decision-making on the potential AJ Brown trade front over the next 2 weeks?
I mean, like maybe just ever so slightly. I feel like it would be, it's a data point in like the way that the offense looks without AJ, but I still feel like you can't overreact over one game, making like, I don't think it's going to be the deciding thing here. And I don't think it should be. So I think it's encouraging that the Eagles offense looked the way that it did without AJ, because again, they've struggled so much in games without him in the past. I think, it shows probably where Jalen Hurts is as a passer, where the Eagles offense just was in general, and kind of like some of the things that they worked out in the early portion of the season. And now it seems like they're progressing and moving toward something here. I think that it's encouraging that they can do it without him, but I still feel like there's probably a need, if you were not, earmuffs, Vinny, like if you were to move him, you still probably feel like you need to bring something in to replace what you would expect to get from him.
Hey, I got a question. Did Jalen say anything about taking this game personal? Because I just feel like Dabo was one of the. I just feel like he was the one that snowballed all this. It was like, oh wow, come to the podium. Oh, I see why this is going on. Guys are wide open. Like he was just trolling, and I didn't really like it. I didn't really like his troll.
The Dayball stuff, you mean?
Yeah, Dayball.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like he was the one that made the national media look into it.
Yeah, I think that you could all. I think we know enough about Jalen to know that he is the type of guy who hears everything, sees everything, and uses what he needs to as motivation. Obviously, he's never going to acknowledge it publicly, but I think that the way he played. I can't exactly pinpoint exactly why, but I do think that the way he's played in the last 2 weeks is a response to something, whether it is the way that the offense looked, whether it's the way that things have gone internally, whether it's external noise. Maybe a combination of all three here. I do think that I don't think it's a coincidence that we've seen like Super Bowl Jalen Hurts the last 2 weeks, just like randomly in the middle of the regular season. Maybe it's as simple as he felt like the team needed it, like the energy and the motivation after losing 2 straight games. But I definitely think we're seeing a different side of him than we usually see in the regular season outside of some of those big marquee matchups. You think about when he goes up against a guy like Joe Burrow, like taking that personal. I think it's fair to say that he took something personal the way that he's played. Again, he's playing at a really high level. I kind of feel like he's talked himself into the conversation for MVP. Like I said earlier, I feel like that's there's some momentum there.
So EJ in the Giants locker room, Kayvon Thibodeau just called the tush push utter BS. What was the hubbub about the? We all agreed it was kind of a fumble on that tush push play. Fran threw out
been a fumble, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fumble. Fran threw out a tinfoil hat theory on it, but what was the talk about the tush push play in the stadium today up in the press box?
Yeah, mostly just about how poorly officiated this game was, because like the tush push was really only necessitated, because of the fact that they didn't call the late hit on Jalen Hurts out of bounds, right behind me actually, and also I kind of thought he got the first down. If you're saying that he's inbounds to get hit, then you probably give him the first on the spot there because he's crossing the pylon.
Behind the line there.
Yeah,
I thought the ball was behind him
originally agree
too.
with you, EJ, but then on the replay, actually, I thought he did not get the first.
Yeah,
down.
I think he was short.
I thought the ball was okay. So I agree that like it looked like the ball was behind him. But if you're saying that like the hit's legal because he's still in the field of play, like that opens up like how did he not get the first down? So realistically, I think it's the first thing. I think that it's a late hit, and I think a lot of not maybe a lot, but a handful of quarterbacks in the NFL probably get that call.
Super Bowl
I don't
MVPs, let's say.
Yes, I would say so.
Oh yeah, it's the color of the skin that gets the call.
No, Pat Mahomes would have gotten the call. I mean, Jalen's a couple shades darker, but I think it's play style for Jalen more than anything. I think that he doesn't get those calls because he is a running quarterback. So,
Did you say Brad Mahomes?
He said Pat Mahomes.
No, I didn't say Brad Mahomes.
I
said
thought
Pat.
you were making a joke about it.
Oh, did you? Wait, you said Brad Mahomes, Bo?
No, I did not.
Move on.
Yeah, we're going to get ourselves in trouble with this one.
I don't even get the joke.
Brad's a very white name.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I think that
I thought he was saying if he was Brad
If
Mahomes.
it was Brad Mahomes, like
if he was Brad Mahomes. But no, I think most of the conversation in the press box was just about the comedy of errors that led to that point, rather than just like the Giants getting unfairly treated there on the fumble. I mean, I did think it was a fumble, honestly. I mean, it didn't seem like his forward progress had stopped. So
No, Thibodeau ripped it out of his hands.
Yeah, but again, doesn't matter if they call the late hit. I think that the bad calls kind of even themselves out by the end of the game.
All right, EJ, the Eagles are heading into the bye 6-2. You are heading into the bye. Now, we will talk to you on Monday and Tuesday on the PHLY Eagles show. But for the people who only tune in for the postgame show, what are you going to be cooking up for yourself this week on the bye?
Oh man, a much anticipated trip for me and the missus. We're going to Paris and London. It's gonna be nice. You'll learn about me. I don't know anything about what we're doing. My wife, if she wasn't a pediatric nurse, she would be a vacation planner. So I just show up and I follow the itinerary and have a great time. It's gonna be really nice.
Will you eat escargot?
I'll miss you guys though.
Will you eat some escargot?
Oh yeah, I like escargot.
Are you
it's
an adventurous eater?
Mildly. I mean, escargot is kind of just like hot oysters, in my opinion. Like that's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
It tastes like a hot, like buttery oyster. So definitely in on the escargot. But yeah, like I said, I'll be sad to not talk to Bo hourly every single day. I mean, maybe I'll call you once or twice just to get my fix.
I mean, I'm happy to do a podcast in French this week if you want to.
You'll be the only one talking. I know survival French. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Last thing, AJ, what can the diehards read on allphly.com when they tune in tomorrow morning for the early bird?
Yeah, I'm going to try and break down. I'm not going to try. I'm going to break down the Eagles' run game, how things got going in the run game, and how this was a balanced approach, and really what it means for the Eagles going into this bye week. With some takeaways, I want to get to some stuff like I mentioned the Fred Johnson thing earlier, Brett Toth. I want to get into some of the smaller things, like toward the bottom of it. But yeah, at the top, you're going to be reading about the run game and really how the Eagles got both Saquon Barkley and the Tank Bigsby game, how it came to be. So.
All right. Thank you very much, EJ, on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. We will talk to you tomorrow on the PHLY Eagles podcast at 2 o'clock.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
all right.
See you, EJ.
Thank you, EJ.
You want a little Cam Scatabo update? Mike Garafolo just tweeted out he has a dislocated ankle. He's scheduled to undergo surgery tonight at a local Philadelphia hospital.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a bummer. His season's probably cooked.
Wow, what a good player though.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, what a good player.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Some super chats to close this out. Now we have here Ben Bentley. If
You say
Atlanta
Ben?
calls for AJ and a 2 for Kyle Pitts and 2 threes,
What?
who says no? I'll tell
The
you.
Philadelphia
Howie Roseman
Eagles.
says no. Yeah.
I say no.
I'm sorry.
I say no.
Yeah, I'm out.
Dallas Goddard
It's-
sitting at 7 TDs, and I like Kyle
I mean,
Pitts. He's
it could be a
Jersey
2
guy.
and 2 threes. You put them both over, and the Eagles would still say no. I think it's got to start with the first round pick, at least. And player.
You got to get your socks knocked off.
Yes.
To move a player of it. And the thing I keep going back to throughout this like whole discourse about AJ Brown, because it's clearly not going anywhere. when you see the offense,
it will be nice in 2 weeks if the deadline passes and he's still here for the deadline to have passed.
I hope. But
Man,
when
I
you
can't
look
wait.
at this offense the past 2 weeks, Vinny, like there's no reason that AJ Brown can't be happy now that this offense is kind of going.
Yeah, but he needed to do what he needed to do to light a fire on some asses, and I think message well received.
Yeah,
and I think they're gonna get past this.
Let's close it out this way, Vinny. Just thinking about what you think the vibe of this team is now, given the fact that they had a very difficult start to the schedule, and to be coming off the Super Bowl, given all of the accumulated miles that comes with that, and some of the struggles that this team has had despite winning, to be entering the bye 6-2, relatively healthy. You stare on the other side, and you're going to be getting Nolan Smith back. You're going to be getting Brandon Graham involved to some degree. How do you think those guys feel heading into the bye?
They feel good, man. I think gonna come out, like I said before, we're gonna come out the gate swinging, and I think, like I said, pressure-wise, this is the most pressure this Eagle team will have to face because of all the expectations that is going to be on there, especially coming out the bye. The deadline has been passed. Now it's just trying to get back to playing Eagles football the way we know how and be more consistent with it.
What do you think, Jamie? How do you feel about the team, big picture, halfway through the season?
I think the NFL is wide open this year. I don't think anybody's like clearly the best team. I think you have a lot of very good teams at the top and then a lot of mediocrity in the middle. I think the Eagles are one of the very good teams. I expect things to get better. What we've seen from the offense these past 2 weeks is highly encouraging in terms of the variance of the offense that they're running and showing. You're still seeing a little bit more of the RPO, option, like on the Goedert touchdown today. So that's very encouraging to see. I think Jalen's played his best 2 games of the year the past 2 weeks. You got Saquon back in form today. You're going to get healthier coming out of the bye. You got BG and Nolan returning. So the trajectory is still up for this team, which is crazy to think that there's been some bumps in the road and they're sitting at 6-2 going into the bye. Like, this is a very good team.
I think that's right. And listen, to be fair, this is the first game all season that they have outgained the opponent,
which is crazy.
You're right. They were negative point different, or like +1 in the season. So for them to have a nice decisive win, Fran talked about it leading up that this was like a pivotal game for their season. I think that was true, and they answered the bell, no doubt about it. The bad news for us is we're coming off a nice string of 5 of the last 6 post-game shows were 1 o'clock games.
Oh, no.
We come back after the bye. We got a Monday nighter, then straight to a Sunday nighter, then a 425er, then a Black Friday, then a night game again.
What time's the Black Friday one?
3 o'clock.
All right, I can live with that.
That's okay. But yeah, we are. There's only one more 1 o'clock game on the schedule.
Oh no!
Let me see. What's
We're gonna have a lot of Celsiuses pumping through the offices here. So this is a bye week not only for the players but for us too. We got to get our rest in.
The 1 o'clock game? Well, the 20th. Yeah, that's when we don't know if it's a 4:25 or an 8 o'clock game. It's a Saturday. Anyway, we'll be here, so hopefully you'll join us. That'll do it. The Eagles, a dominating 38-20 performance over the New York Giants. The running game is back in Philadelphia, and now they head to the bye 6-2 atop the NFC East, in contention for the top seed in the NFC. And now we find out what Howie Roseman does at the deadline. For Vinny Curry and Jamie Lynch and Fran Duffy and EJ Smith and Lindsay and Andrew behind the scenes, we thank you for watching and listening. We will talk to you on the PHLY Eagles show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And until then, as always, we love you.
Go Birds!
We all silly like the mayor.